often imitated but never duplicated. CASCAR was the first racing series to participate here at the City Center Airport in Edmonton. Now the Champ Cars have joined in on the fun, but CASCAR Super Series competitors have returned to the West for the second consecutive week. East meets West in the Gridley Headz 100.
In 1996, Tony Novotny and a group of Western racing fans were the first to put on a race on the runways and taxi roads of the Edmonton City Center Airport. Al Turner was the inaugural winner of that event. CASCAR raced on a revamped raceway until 2000, giving the Edmonton fans a thrill a minute. The veterans of that era are back to show their stuff on this 2-mile circuit. They'll be challenged by a new breed of road racing talent. Today, 38 drivers are ready to tackle round number 5 of the 2006 CASCAR Super Series. From the JAGFlo Raceway at the Edmonton City Center Airport, this is the Gridley Headz 100. Hello, everyone. From the City of Champions, I'm Dave Bradley, along with Billy Rouse Jr., and as always, Todd Lewis joins us trackside. Billy, CASCAR showed up here with the biggest contingency of cars, and the fans can't wait to see what these boys with fenders can do.
What a terrific showing. We had 41 cars show up. There's only 38 spots available in this race. This is one of the biggest crowds these CASCAR drivers will face.
35,000 people are here in Edmonton, and boy, they love their race. And 20 cars from the Eastern Base Series with 18 from the FlowPro.com Western Series are fired up and ready to race for 32 laps here at the Gridley Headz 100 event.
Well, David, the talent is spread throughout this whole field. There's a lot of good road racers, but the young J.R. Fitzpatrick up front there leading the points. He's won a race already this year. His confidence is through the roof.
Well, the 18-year-old took his second pole of the year. He grabbed the Castrol top qualifying spot and a new record time of 1 minute, 22 seconds, .582 for an average speed of 138.408 kilometers an hour.
Well, with the kid leading the championship, he just picked up 3 more valuable points.
Well, as the cars get ready to roll out, we'll take a short commercial break. We'll return to Edmonton in just a moment with the start of the Gridley Headz 100. The Gridley Headz 100 from Edmonton is brought to you by Castrol Syntec. Outperforms all other leading motor oils. Mopar, authentic performance. Driving Force Vehicle Rental, sales and leasing for all your vehicle needs online at drivingforce.ca. And by Gridley Headz Board Games. To play, it's not enough. Well, the CASCAR field now rolling out onto the raceway as we get set for 32 laps here in Edmonton. Billy, not a typical road course. What are the drivers dealing with here?
No, not typical by any means, David, because it's wide open, it's flat. It is a temporary road course. We'll take a look at the Logos Auto Parts track map and see what we're talking about. There are 14 turns here at Edmonton. Turns 1 and 11, in my past experience, tells me that they're the best braking zone, passing zones there is here at the Speedway.
Champ cars have just qualified. That's extra rubber on this circuit. What does that mean to these CASCAR guys?
Well, actually, in my opinion, that's a real good thing, because the more rubber you can get in the racetrack, the more grip you can get. That'll allow the cars to brake harder, turn in earlier, and get all that horsepower to the ground.
Leland starting grid shows J.R. Fitzpatrick, teammate Don Thompson Jr. on the front row. DJ Kennington and Jeff Lapsevich make up row number 2. Row number 3 is Kerry Mix and Kevin Dowler, first of the Western guys. Scott Steckley and Kenny Haboul makes another start in that Hot Wheels Chevy. Then it's Dave Whitlock and Mark Dilley in row number 5. Row number 6 is Mark Miller in the 8 car and Robin Buck driving the Lou's Barbecue 88. Ron Beauchamp Jr. in row number 7 along with Wade Lee in the 79. There's Brad Graham fresh off his first win and Peter Gibbons in the 1 car. Jim Lapsevich drives the 25 and Ron Van Ness in the 11 there in row number 9. Doug Brown in the 10 car and Derek Pollock, another Westerner, in row number 10. Row number 11 brings us Carl Haar and Jason Hathaway, who did well at Mosport in the 3 car. Jim White and Kent Noon in row number 12. And row number 13 is John Fitzpatrick and Pierre Bourque making his first ever CASCAR start. Jay Van Domselaar in the 44 and Lyle Paulson in the 42 in row number 14. And row number 15 has Dan Ursel in the 87 and Fred Del Perro. And then row number 16, Brad Bussart in the 59 along with Sean Press in the 86. Sean Pollard in the 26 and Fred Whiteman make up row number 17. Jason White and Scott Dennis in row number 18. And rounding out this huge field, Daryl Haar and Todd Nickel in the 71 and 6 cars respectively.
Well, let's get on the radio here and talk to Kenny Habul in the 75 Monte Carlo. Kenny, it's Billy Rouse. Talk to me about jumping back into the car this afternoon on this challenging road course.
Oh, mate, I'm excited. Can I tell you, I'm as nervous as a butcher's thumb at the moment because I'm not sure if we got enough fuel to make the race.
Well, good luck, Kenny. I know you'll give it a good run, son.
Thank you, buddy, and hello to all the people from Edmonton. What a beautiful place, beautiful track.
Nervous as a butcher's thumb. You got to love that Australian slang.
I'll tell you what, when you think about it, don't cut it off now.
Some thoughts from our friend down under. Now to our man down on pit lane with some more news. Todd?
Fellas, a couple of other things to watch for down here. Of course, we had engine changes, which means a couple of drivers are going to the back. Daryl Haar and Todd Nickel both had motor changes. That puts them to the back of the field to start things off. The other question, Kenny Habul mentioned it earlier, fuel. Will it be an issue for cars if we go green the entire distance?
Well, Todd, some teams did calculate their fuel mileage based on yesterday's practice runs, and some teams felt they could go all the way, but it would be very, very tight.
On board with Pierre Bourque in his Whitlock prepared driving .ca Dodge Charger. Kenny Habul getting ready to take the green here as cars form up for their 32-lap run here at the Gridley Headz 100.
Well, 38 of the best race cars in Canada, Dave, forming up as they come down the straightaway. They'll make one more turn, get all the cars in the front stretch before Steve Charbonnet turns them loose.
Look at the fans in the background as they wave on their favorite drivers. A packed house here in Edmonton. Tons of fans out to see the Champ cars. Now they're going to get treated to some CASCAR racing. Out of corner 14 for the final time before we take green here in the Gridley Headz 100. It's green and we're a go.
Oh, they're up to speed, and look at this. 3 and 4 wide already. This is a huge runway as we head into turn 1, but she's narrow. You got to get them narrowed down. We're still 3 wide. Take a look here. Oh, JR gets a little tapped behind. This is exciting. This is a tight part of the racetrack, turns 2 and 3.
Donnie Thompson off outside pole leads his teammate, the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, as they weave their way through the opening laps. Some fuel coming out of that tank of Thompson.
Well, we talked about fuel mileage being precious. Oh, Donnie gets a little agricultural racing going on there, and JR slides through to take the lead.
Boy, Thompson pushing it hard on cold tires early on, slides it off this very, very flat racetrack, Billy. Tough to keep it on these corners.
Well, you know what? You just got to miss the apex by a very little bit. You get off into the grass. The rest of the racetrack is very wide. Thompson just made a calculated error there, and the young Lion stepped in and took advantage.
But these 2 cars checking out on the rest of the field. The 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick and the 4 of Don Thompson Jr. with Lapsevich not too far behind. As the young gun, Fitzpatrick, leads once again here in the Gridley Headz 100 in Edmonton.
Well, you talked about confidence early on. The young lad's got a ton of it, and he's proving it right now as he holds at bay them veterans behind him. Take a look. Oh, Daryl Haar got smoke flying out of that car.
Problems early on for Daryl Haar in the 71. They had a motor change going to the start of this race, and it looks like that could be trouble under the hood.
Well, you know, in the hurry to put a motor in, you can leave oil lines loose, break a fitting. You do almost anything when you're in a big hurry trying to get a motor change done.
31 laps to go, just 1 lap down. You see how long it takes to navigate this 14-turn JAGFlo.com raceway.
Oh, it's a long old place. A lot of things can happen. 14 turns, that's a lot of shifting going on.
Now on board now with the Gridley Headz bumper cam, and that's from the nose of the 23 of Lapsevich. And he's catching the 4 of Thompson.
Well, Thompson's just sitting back watching the show right now. He's a seasoned veteran. He knows when to coast and when to go hard. Keep going back and take it all look. The fuel run out of the back of the car in the overflow, and we talked about how tight fuel was going to be in the first place. The overflow valve just isn't quite staying shut in that car, and you're seeing the vapor trail off the back.
Man, they must have packed that thing tight with fuel trying to get it done, because if they go all the way, it will be tight. We heard from the top from Todd. And here is Kerry Mix looking to get underneath the 17 of Kennington, and he does. Kennington just missed that apex. That's for 4th.
Well, I think DJ Spotter told him Kerry was looking. Kerry's hungry. Locks that right front up, getting in there hard. Takes the spot away.
Well, we've seen Kerry Mix, and we've got trouble once again. The 21 of Jason White, and it looks like a motor. There's some fluid down underneath.
Well, you see all that oil running on the ground, and that's in the middle of the race car. Probably broke a rod or something, downshifting. That's one thing about oval racers coming to a road course. When you're doing the heel and toe thing, if you don't do it right, you over-rev the motor, lock it up, and break a rod.
Here comes Dilly down to the inside. He dives it in a ton, and Miller's going to take that spot back in the 8th. They battle side by side into the corner once again. And caution now, full course is Kenny Avula. You see him waving in that car, alerting the drivers behind him.
Well, Kenny doesn't want to get hit from behind when he's slowing up. He's recognized the caution out, make sure behind him sees that he is slowing down. For this man, the 21 car with a broken motor.
Disappointment for the 21 of Jason White. Todd's also down in the pits with a dejected Westworld Motorsports crew.
Guys, yeah, it is disappointing for Daryl Haar, who's on pit road. Smoke coming out from underneath the hood. The crew going to work. Daryl Haar, of course, had the motor changed. Just dropped it in about an hour before race time. He and I were at this event last year talking in pit lane, saying, wouldn't it be great for CASCAR to be back here in Edmonton? Well, they are. Unfortunately, Daryl Haar is going to spend an awful lot of time on pit road.
Well, joining Haar on pit road, the 42 of Lyle Paulson. He's in, as is the 24 of Scott Dennis. So they come in to make a couple adjustments on pit road in the early laps here of the Gridley Headz 100. But we'll be back with J.R. Fitzpatrick. Your leader, Don Thompson, holds down second with 4 laps in the books. We're still under caution here at the Gridley Headz 100 as the Wheel and Engineering safety crew cleans up that mess from the blown motor of the 21 of Jason White. White hops out of the car now. There's the 71 of Daryl Haar.
Well, it's very important for the Martin crew to get that car fixed and back out in the racetrack, as there's 2 races within the race here. This is a Western and an Eastern points race. Daryl Haar sits 4th.
And Don Thompson's in the pits from 2nd. He's got a flat. Todd's down with him.
The flat right rear tire. The Home Hardware crew goes to work. Sandy Hamilton pulls the flat tire off. They're working to get the car up in the air to make the change.
Well, Don Thompson Jr. will always tell you he'd rather be lucky than good. And I'll tell you, lucky it happened under caution.
And there's still lots of laps left to go here in Edmonton. But Donnie and the Home Hardware team nationwide support a number of different causes as they travel across the country. One in particular is the Cross Canada ride that Dave Vistadek is doing in support of cancer research for the Sick Kids Foundation. Here's Donnie to tell us more.
I think it's great what Dave's doing for the foundation. It just shows another way Home Hardware is involved with the charities. I think it's fantastic. You can support this cause by going to www.cyclingforcancer.ca, and we really appreciate everybody's support, and what Dave's doing for this foundation is just, it's awesome.
What Donnie didn't mention is Dave is a cancer survivor and only has 1 leg to make that ride.
Well, it's an absolutely inspiring story. A big congratulations to Home Hardware and the team. Just one of a number of CASCAR teams hooked up with different charities, and they're all helping out in a big, big way. We're still under caution here in Edmonton with the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick in the lead. The Wheel and Engineering safety crew quickly trying to clean up that oil spill from the Jason White machine. And all weekend long here in Edmonton, the fans supporting to see some great racing, also treated to a new generation of board games. Gridley Headz board games, the most popular interactive board game of the times. Kerry Martins, a British Columbia native, is the president and originator.
Well, it's the Gridley Headz board game. It has to do with the Gridley Headz All-Star All Sports. There's 22 characters, but we have the NASCAR, we have hockey, football, soccer. We have 54 board games that we are in production to do. 10 are being released this year in a massive advertising campaign, but it's about the thrill of the sport. You get your teeth knocked out in hockey. You lose all your car in NASCAR. Our hockey game was too tough for the NHL, if you can believe that.
Well, hailing from Canada, Headz Games has come on board with Canada's most successful racing series, CASCAR, to promote and market its new brand of games.
Well, I think as a corporation, it's probably the best marketing vehicle we could get to get our name out there. It's growing in Canada, in the U.S., NASCAR and CASCAR. And in CASCAR, we just love being involved. It's the most exciting sport there is in Canada.
Headz Games has not only come on board to sponsor today's event, but they'll also headline the Labor Day event at Cayuga, the Hot Hand Head Ray 200.
Well, it's great to see a Canadian company get involved. They also help young Pete Shepard Jr. in his down south effort.
Welcome back to round number 5 of the 2006 CASCAR Super Series. J.R. Fitzpatrick leads the field of green as we work lap 10 of 32.
Well, after a lengthy cleanup, we're back to green flag racing. Heading down the front stretch, JR gets a great jump on Lapsevich.
I love this shot. The field just fans out down the front straightaway and heads for turn number 1. Look at Buck on the inside in the 88.
Oh, Buck into the 35 of Dowler. Dowler gets into the 22 of Steckley, and around they go. Dowler and Buck are still locked together.
And Buck searching for a gear in that 88 car, now on board with Nickel. And there's Steckley faced in the wrong direction, so Steckley will fall all the way back to the tail end of this field.
Oh, just a local caution. Steckley will get back underway. And there's JR up front riding the curves.
Look at that car bounce off the curbs. How important is it for these cars to be well set up bouncing over these curbs here in Edmonton?
Well, any race car, it's all about shocks and springs, and obviously they got the right ones in that car.
The 23 of Jeff Lapsevich, Hall in the mail in second, eating up real estate on the 84 into that braking zone, now within striking distance on Fitzpatrick.
Well, make no mistake, Lapsevich is a veteran road course racer, knows how to heel and toe, get into the braking zones, but young Fitzpatrick's been to driving school, and he just got put to school by Lapsevich.
And Lapsevich goes through for the lead. The Tim Horton Chevy, now the new pace setter here in Edmonton, with J.R. Fitzpatrick tucking in behind him. He'll follow the 23 and see if he can learn anything back there.
Well, old school against new school. Let's watch the action. This is going to get good. Two different lines heading into turn 1. One from the outside, one from the inside, but they both get to the apex on the entrance. JR is putting the heat on him. He's looking inside.
And he pokes the nose to the inside. Now he'll back off as Lapsevich slams the door through corner number 2. Back to the inside goes the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. These guys are having a dynamite dice at the front of the field.
Well, let's go on board and have a look here. This is the master right here.
Just take a listen to this engine.
See how smooth he is in the throttle? Listen to this. The guy's a master. Easy in, hard out. That's road racing as it bets right there.
Well, you see how quiet his hands were as well. That car is hooked up. He's not tugging on that wheel one way or the other. Lapsevich is doing well in the lead here, now being chased by the 84 of young J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Well, sitting back in third place there, that's Kerry Mix. And don't forget, he won our last road course at Mossport.
Well, you see these cars using all this racetrack. It's huge and wide, but they're slipping and sliding Fitzpatrick up to the back bumper as they bounce off the curbs and right out to the wall just like that.
Well, it's a horsepower game right now. Look at this JR using that power down the straightaway. He takes a look, can't quite get it done. Let's see what happens when he gets out on the big part of the racetrack. Over the curves, he's using it all.
Well, you remember back in Mossport, the 23 of Lapsevich had some trouble with his motor, and that's why he said he wasn't in a place to win that race. But here, the motor is striking on all 8 cylinders, and Lapsevich is doing very, very well at the head of this field.
Oh, we get a good look there as he touches both curbs inside and out. Easy on the gas, into the braking zone, picking the throttle up. Good downshift, little heel and toe job going on there. Hard on the throttle across this short chute.
Billy, being a road racer at times yourself, how important is it to heel and toe and match those revs of these cars?
Well, that's the real deal about being a road racer. You got to be able to match the revs to downshift rather than just plug it in gear. The motor over revs, you start hopping the rear tires, and you're in trouble. As you can see up front, these guys are doing it really well.
Just under 20 laps to go here in the Gridley Headz 100 in Edmonton, and Jeff Lapsevich is now pulling some distance out of the corners from the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, so that car is hooked up. He's able to get to the gas much earlier than the young gun Fitzpatrick.
Well, Well, the young fellow in the Milwaukee Tool Monte Carlo, he's not going to get too excited because this is a long race, but it's a short race. This is only 100 kilometers. When I raced here, it was 300 kilometers.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, buddy. This one's a sprint race, and these guys are doing it really good. Look at this kid inside this car. He's a road racer. Nice and smooth on the steering wheel. I just can't say enough. Watch him shift.
Well, Jeff's wife Sherry looks on as her husband leads the Gridley Headz 100. We'll be back. Jeff Lapsevich leads the Gridley Headz 100 here at round number 5 of the 2006 CASCAR Super Series, but not far behind is the 84 of Fitzpatrick, and here comes Fitzpatrick down the inside.
A power move under braking. Young JR has been watching and watching. He uses horsepower to get up the inside, out brake him. There's the crossover move. Lapsevich back through on the other side.
That's what's great about road racing is that one guy has the inside, and then he could have the outside for the next corner. Fitzpatrick dove it in a little hard, kept that inside lane open, and in goes the 23 of Lapsevich, a veteran of the road racing ranks. We've talked about it before on an MC Transport Chevy Monte Carlo.
Well, you know what? The young Fitzpatrick, I hope he just went to school there and learned what he did wrong. He did everything right up until the outside apex. He gave the veteran too much room. Let's see what happens as this race gets a little older. The kid might scrap it on him again.
All this racing side by side, and look who's lurking. The 02 of Kerry Mix in third. He's not too far behind. There he is. There he's about 4 car lengths in behind this lead duo.
Well, you know, these guys got side by side under braking. They had to be real careful to tiptoe through the corner, and that allowed Kerry Mix, that 02 Ford, to close the gap.
An uncharacteristic lockup of the right front tire for Lapsevich as he navigates the corners here. Mix is gaining ground on these 2 cars up front. Mix, of course, won at Mosport the last time we ran on a road course.
Mixie's got that AP motor hauling the mail right now. Now when they get out in the big stretch here, he's going to stuck it in the draft and suck it up going into turn 1.
Talked about motors a number of times. Billy, what kind of RPMs are these guys turning down these big, huge, long straightaways?
Well, lots of guys are telling me 7,500. I know there's stories of 8,000 as motor builders are complaining about the guys turning their motors too high.
Here's a power move. The 1 of Gibbons and the 60 of Beauchamp, both going through. Beauchamp trying to get underneath the 79 of Wade Lee. Gibbons does get underneath the 9 of Mark Dilley, and Lee goes off the grass.
Wade Lee, a veteran road racer in that Vernon Speedway number 79, goes through the grass, throws up a huge smoke screen, and doesn't even lose a spot.
Well, Lee is the top Western competitor so far in this race, and now he's running top 5 in the FlowPro.com Western Series points. It's a race within a race, and the Western Series guys are looking for all the points they can get.
Well, absolutely. Wade Lee's got a little smoke trail now to the back of that Chevrolet. We'll have to keep an eye and see if that causes some problems later on.
So Lee leads the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. This is a battle for 7th in the Gridley Headz 100 here in Edmonton with Peter Gibbons and the 9 of Mark Dilley not too far behind. Dilley taking a look on Gibbons down into that corner, but he's going to back up, and Gibbons throws it hard down in there. Great camera shot as these guys sweep through the corners.
Well, 3 of the top Eastern guys that we have right there. You got the Mopar car, Ronnie Beauchamp Jr., Peter Gibbons, that Monte Carlo. Oh, Jared Fitzpatrick is off the pace.
So the second place car slows down the front straightaway. This is going to hurt in the point standings for the Milwaukee Tool Chevy. Now down to 5th spot as J.R. Fitzpatrick searches for a problem. Could it be an ignition in there, Billy?
Well, you know, all these cars, most of these cars run dual ignition. So if the first one went bad, that would show that. He's back up to speed now, so now he's on his last ignition box.
But now your leader is all by himself. Jeff Lapsevich in the 23. Well, he's still got the 02 of Kerry Mix hounding him just a touch, but Todd's down in the 11 pit.
Guys, as you see, Ron Van Ness making his way up pit road. The crew has gone to retrieve him. Thought they had a fire underneath the hood. Doesn't appear to be so, but that car is silent as they make their way up along pit road. Just beyond Ron Van Ness, it's Robin Buck, who's into the 88 Loose Barbecue car this weekend. Dave Jacobs put Robin Buck into the car. Of course, he looked like he was on his way to a victory here some years ago, but got taken out late in the race. He won't win again today.
Well, it looks like Robin's had a little contact. Oh, we got a car with the right rear missing.
Dan Ursel stopped on the front straightaway. That's right around turn 14. So trouble for a Western Series driver, but the good news, he's tucked to the inside right against the wall and outside of the racing groove. Now with the Mopar replay.
We take a look at it. Daryl Har goes through there in the 71, and there's the 87 car, loses the right rear wheel, spins around, and comes to a stop against the inside wall.
So it could be a broken axle for that Ford Taurus driver, Dan Ursel. He'll hop out. No caution yet, which is the best news here on a road course, with Lapsevich leading the 0-2 of Kerry Mix.
Well, they put a lap on the number 6 car. That's the Rocky Mountain sales car of Todd Nichols. Todd Nichols, not only a good race car driver, but he crew chiefs young Daryl Har's NASCAR Grand National West car.
So hats off to him as he's moved up to 31st spot here after starting dead last on the field here in the Gridley Headz 100. And you saw one of the leaders with problems early on. The 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick had slowed. He's back going now, but Todd's in his pit.
Jeremy Ritchie, what happened to JR? He slowed on the front stretch.
Well, Todd, he radioed in, said the car shut off temporarily. He got it back going again. I don't know if he had a problem with the switch, but he's back and running. Hopefully we can chase those guys down, maybe get lucky and get a caution here towards the end.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Well, I spoke about it earlier, and that's just confirmed it. One ignition box down, one to go.
17 laps to go here, and this is a battle for 4th spot with J.R. Fitzpatrick, who we've seen has a very, very quick car. He qualified on pole and led for quite a while here in the Gridley Headz 100. You saw a wave from Kenny Abboul.
Well, Kenny's telling him to go down the inside. He's going to make way and let him go. They want to do it in a spot like this where it doesn't hold up either one of their momentum. They can both keep digging. Abboul's having a heck of a day.
He has, after running into trouble in Mossport. Kenny Abboul, very much a veteran of the road course, now on board to see him work the wheel. And at work, we'll ride on board here. We'll take a listen.
Well, that's Peter Gibbons' horsepower we're listening to there. That's a Peter Gibbons Motorsports Monte Carlo. Awesome piece of equipment. The kid's just learning the difference between these other road course cars he's driven compared to these CASCAR late models.
Well, these CASCAR late models are pretty unique compared to really any other car out there. A lot of guys think they can just jump in these things and go quick, but that's not the case, is it?
No, the horsepower to weight ratio, the brakes that are on the car, the high roll centers that are in the car, they drive like nothing else you can drive.
But Kenny Abboul doing a bang-up job, now sitting in the top 5 in the 75 car with the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick in 4th. They're all chasing the 23 of Jeff Lapsevich, though, in the MC Chevy Monte Carlo.
Well, they're using up every inch of racetrack trying to get back to the front.
So now 16 laps to go here in the Gridley Headz 100. Lapsevich, your leader. Abboul right there in the 75 is running in the top 5. A good look at the 09 of Kent Noon, running for Rookie of the Year, really on a shoestring budget.
Well, just a mom-and-pop operation, and they made the tug all the way to Edmonton.
The 22 is currently sitting in 16th. You saw his troubles early on. There's a fender flapping in the wind. He fell all the way back to dead last. Scott Steckley did in the Erb Group Dodge. And Steckley is slowly and methodically working his way back up through this field. Mark Miller in the Carhartt Dodge in there as well.
Well, that Carhartt Dodge there, Mark Miller, that's a car out of the DJ Kennington camp. It's got a good stove underneath the hood.
Well, another guy who's fallen by the wayside today, Ron Van Ness and Todd standing by.
Ron, boy, sorry to see you out. You were running pretty well.
We had a good car. I've kind of caught on to these road courses, and unfortunately, Mossport in here, two engine failures. Nothing we can do. It's going to really hurt us. We drove back in the points. So
another frustrating end of the day for Ron Van Ness.
Well, frustration for sure. You know, the young racer's pretty good on the ovals. He's still trying to master these road courses. And you know what? A couple missed shifts here and there, and it's awful hard on driveline.
Yeah, and he was sitting 13th in points coming into this event, so this will definitely hurt his chances at a top 10 run in the point standings here in the CASCAR Super Series. Lapsevich leads. We're about midway through the Gridley Headz 100 from Edmonton. You're watching CASCAR Racing from the airport run to the Edmonton City Center Airport. This is the battle for 8th spot as Whitlock getting worked over by the Dodge of Dilly. Just 11 laps to go now.
Oh, this is fun to watch. Both these cars prepared at the Dave Whitlock shop. Obviously equally prepared. Now it's all up to the driver to see who's the best man.
Yeah, no team order here, is there?
No, sir. Dilly against Whitlock. Dilly down to the inside taking a look. No, Whitlock shuts the door.
There's some smoke coming from the 79 of Wade Lee. We saw that earlier on, but that smoke seems to be getting worse.
Well, when you got that much smoke coming out of a race motor, it's going to be terminal.
He had a tough run up in Vernon and Sun Valley, ending up in the wall. Now some smoke coming from the back end of that Monte Carlo. So Wade Lee, who is currently posted in 7th spot, is having some trouble. We'll see if that will be terminal or not. Maybe he'll be able to continue. Just 10 laps to go now.
And here comes some Chevrolet thunder back there in the background. Peter Gibbons in that number 1 Monte Carlo closing hard on Whitlock and Dilly.
The 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick now up to 3rd spot. He brought along Kenny Abul with him, so Abul is in 4th. And that drops the 17 of DJ Kennington back into the 5th spot. But these guys are all chasing the leader. Jeff Lapsevich and the 02 of Kerry Mix is still in 2nd.
Oh, the kid's got that Chevrolet percolating now. He's heading for the front. Watch the shock and spring combination. This thing is moving around town. Off into the braking zone, the nose drops real nice, gets maximum traction. Through the corner, on the pedal hard, and up comes the nose. That thing's working good.
Both he and Abul have stretched a lead over the 17, the Castrol Dodge of DJ Kennington. But boy, J.R. Fitzpatrick, your points leader in the CASCAR Super Series, is working his way back up to the front.
It's obvious. The kid, that 84 car, he's the fastest one on the racetrack right now. He's hunting the leader.
No slouch either in this Hot Wheels Chevy. It's a 75 of Kenny Abul. He's hanging right with the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick up in the top 5. A dynamite drive for him.
Well, Peter Gibbons is charging hard too, but I'll bet you Peter's wondering, boy, did I give that guy the wrong car?
Well, that's the 86 of Sean Press, giving the leaders tons of room there. Press, a top Western driver, struggling a touch here today, but he'll have things back on the proper page for the next Western race. That's in Saskatoon. Beautiful track out there.
It certainly is a very fast 3/8 mile oval and awesome facility.
Good look at DJ Kennington in the Castrol Dodge as he continues in the top 5. A little bit of smoke there from Press in the 86 car.
Well, these road courses are awful hard on driveline, and that's what we could be seeing as a little bit of extra blow-by on that Dodge power plant.
Well, the one we haven't talked about for quite some time, a brand new driver here to the series, Pierre Bourque, who's a lap down in 28th, but we'll see him again in Three Rivers and again in Montreal, possibly even Cayuga.
Well, he's just getting his feet wet here in CASCAR. He's a Busch East regular. Oh, Wade Lee on pit road. That thing's cooked.
Well, we saw smoke for pretty much the entire race of the 79 car, and now Wade Lee and Jason Hathaway with a top rookie in the CASCAR Super Series. Takes a little off-course excursion. He grabs the gear and heads back in the right direction in the snap-on Dodge.
Well, take a look at the Mopar replay. Pair of Dodges side by side down to the braking zone. Talked about it earlier. If you don't match the revs, getting into the corner, a little wheel hop in the back, and around he went.
Mark Miller gave him the intimidation as here comes Dilly to the inside of teammate Dave Whitlock. Dilly finally completes that pass for 7th after running behind the team bus for quite some time. And look who's lurking, the 4 of Don Thompson Jr.
Well, you know what? Dilly and Whitlock raced each other hard there for several laps. That allowed Don Thompson Jr. to recuperate from that earlier flat tire to get into the chase here. And here comes that number 1 of Peter Gibbons in there as well. Pair of Dodges against a pair of Chevrolets. Thompson to the inside under braking.
8 laps to go now. The Home Hardware Chevy gets the door slammed right across the nose, and they bounce over the curbs one more time. Dilly, Whitlock, and Thompson all in a dice here. The Gridley Headz 100.
On board with Thompson, the veteran. There's really a good race going here. Oh, you hear that? Heel and toe down to 2nd gear. He's hard on that thing. Down the inside again. Oh, this is Pierre Bourque, lap car up there at the end. Oh, boy, she's getting busy now.
Boy, Bourque just trying to keep out of the way in the driving.ca. Whitlock prepared, number 29. He saw the boss. And Dilly coming up behind him. He said, I'm going to get out of the way. And there's the 84. And Fitzpatrick is on slow once again.
Fitzpatrick continues to struggle here in Edmonton.
Boy, we thought that ignition problem was fixed in the 84 car as it had gotten going once again. And Fitzpatrick once again slows on the racetrack. This is going to slow him to a spot, and it may call for a caution.
Well, we continue to be under the guidance of this fellow, 23, Lapsevich. He's doing a whale of a job here in Edmonton and pulling away.
So the 84 falls all the way back to 16th from third spot. Heartbreak for the series leader here in the CASCAR Super Series. But things are heating up here in the Gridley Headz 100. We'll be back. Don Thompson in his number 4 Home Hardware Chevy is on the move and in 6th place as he storms to the front. The Gridley Headz 100 here at the JAGFlo.com Raceway in Edmonton. Just 6 laps remaining.
Well, Donnie Thompson has done a wonderful job muscling that car from the back after that early misfortune with a flat tire.
Well, Donnie Thompson could really use a caution here. That would bunch the field back up. You got to think his crew is hoping and praying for that. We'll find out. Todd's down with his crew chief.
Sandy, Don was fortunate to get in during that yellow, charging up through the field. How's he doing?
Well, he's doing much better. I guess we figure we had that flat tire right from the get-go. He was complaining the car was a little bit loose, and thank goodness for that caution. We're having a rough year here with the Home Hardware Chevy, so he's charging through there really good. I hope he can make it up. Maybe we could get one more caution, get a charge out the win.
Thanks, Sandy.
Rough year. A lot of guys would love to have the rough year that Thompson's having. He's sitting 4th in points, just 45 behind his teammate JR. And off course he goes again for the number 4 car, and the Dilly gets by in the 9.
Well, he overcooked the corner just a little bit and left the door open. Dilly, not being shy, sticks that Mopar in there.
Don Thompson Jr. is pushing it for all it's worth, using the whole track and then some. There's the 0-2 of Kerry Mix running in 2nd place. He's another guy who could use a caution.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's 14 seconds approximately from the leader to 2nd, and another 14 seconds back to the 3rd place. The caution would tighten up the field, but let's give Lapsevich his due, the veteran road racer. You know, CASCAR's doing a lot of good things right now. He's been offered a bush ride at the Glen. Talk about P.D. Shepard out of CASCAR, down in the NASCAR Truck Series, doing a little bit of ARCA racing. You've had several other big names looking at CASCAR.
And Pierre Bourque, we talked about him too. He's running in the Busch East Series. So a lot of Canadian names starting to make a name for themselves down south. On board again with the 71 of Haar and still more motor troubles.
Well, young Darrell Haar having troubles here today, but he's another one of the guys that's run NASCAR out on the West Coast for 2 or 3 years now as well.
And boy, he can barely see out that front windshield, so Haar just trying to hit his marks and keep this thing on the road. There's the 14 of Fitzpatrick, the boss of both Don Thompson and J.R. Fitzpatrick. He owns those 2 cars. He's down in 23rd, and there's a good look at the Mopar Dodge of Ron Beauchamp Jr.
Well, Beauchamp just getting to like these road courses more and more every time we run them. He started 13th today, currently 5th. He's having a whale of a ride in that Mopar Dodge.
So they're getting that brand new road course car sorted out, and the 60 is moving up to the front as he tries to put a lap on the ladder crane Chevy of John Fitzpatrick.
Well, we talk about horsepower here. You know, Ron Beauchamp's dad, Ron Sr., builds a lot of those Mopar power plants that you see here in CASCAR.
And we talked about the 4 of Don Thompson Jr. driving the Fitzpatrick Racing Home Hardware Chevy. Now he's lurking in behind the 60 of Beauchamp Jr. So Don Thompson Jr. not too much farther behind as he got ducks underneath the 42 of Lyle Paulson.
And there goes the 4 of Don Thompson Jr. He's closing the gap. Dilly's trying to stay with him in that Mopar Dodge.
Well, Dilly's there in 7th. Whitlock just behind him. Gibbons is in that bunch as well. And how about Jim Lapsevich now inside the top 10 in the other Fastline Motorsports Chevy?
Well, Jimmy's doing a great job. He's fighting with one hand tied behind his back. That's a converted oval car.
Absolutely, and doing a fantastic job with it. Now, just to make note as well, you see the 4 of Don Thompson Jr. We have had all different winners so far this year in the CASCAR Super Series, so there has been a different face atop the podium each stop we've made here this year.
Boy, you want to talk about competitive. Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, everybody's had a shot at the top.
Chevy is leading right now with the 23 of Jeff Lapsevich at the head of this field. This is a battle for 7th. Not really a battle. Dilly has it. He's got a little bit of a space on the 39 of Dave Whitlock. There's a good look at the MC Transport 23 of Jeff Lapsevich.
Well, he's out there 14 seconds all by himself. He's just on cruise control, making sure he doesn't miss any of his marks. He's a veteran. Watch out. He's leaving the curves alone. We're not going to knock any tires off it. We're not going to knock the wall down. Just got to finish the race. He's on cruise.
4 laps to go now in the Gridley Headz 100 here in Edmonton. And look at Lapsevich now. He's leaving some space between that wall. He was right up against it earlier on in this race.
Well, he knows what he's got to do now with only 4 laps to go. See, listen to that. He short shifted. That motor was only like 65, maybe 7,000 RPM. He's taking it nice and easy on the drive line.
Well, the Gridley Headz onboard camera giving us a good shot at the leader at home in his office as he continues to pace this field. Jeff Lapsevich does. There's his crew, and they're about as calm as he is at the top of this running order. We'll be back to finish this one off from Edmonton. You're watching Jeff Lapsevich put on a clinic here in the Gridley Headz 100 in Edmonton with less than 2 laps to go. The Tim Hortons MC Transport driver is set to take his 6th win in 55 CASCAR starts.
Well, Dave, it isn't over till it's over, but he's got a great lead. Mixie's recognized it. I can tell from sitting up here. Kerry Mix is back right off. He's saving his stuff for 3 Rivers, and I think he said he still needs a sponsor for that race.
Well, we've talked about how the 23 was short shifting, keeping the revs low in that motor. That's exactly what the 02 is doing. You can hear him letting off just a little bit earlier, going into the corners. He's got 13 seconds between him and the leader. So Mix knowing that, well, 2nd place may be the place where he's finishing here today.
Well, a sponsor's got to get on that Kerry Mix automobile. It's always fast. It's always at the front. Kerry does a great job.
Yeah, sponsors are missing the boat on that ship for sure. Kerry Mix always at the front. He's already got a win under his belt at Mosport in the road course a little bit earlier on this year.
Well, it continues to be all Lapsevich up front to 23. There's the white flag. 1 to go, boys.
And you can't even see the 2nd place driver in behind him. Take a look at Lapsevich, and there is the lead he has over the 02 of Kerry Mix. Mix just coming out of the final corner there now. There he crosses the line, so that's the lead he has. There's a good look at Jim White in the other Mopar Dodge. Mix with a long distance to make up on the leader, Lapsevich, but Mix equally has a pretty big lead on 3rd place driver.
There it is. 23, Lapsevich for the last time through that corner. Nice and smooth, up to the wall, round, makes every corner nice and simple, nice and easy, keeping it off the curb.
Well, the rev's so much lower than we heard earlier on in this race in that Fastline Motorsports Chevy. Lapsevich well on his way to becoming the 5th different winner here in the CASCAR Super Series.
And there's a look at Kenny Habul. He's had a great ride here in Edmonton.
Boy, Habul sitting 3rd now as he works his way towards the finish of the Gridley Headz 100. Back at the front of this field with the 23 of Jeff Lapsevich, quietly working his way around these corners. Billy, you mentioned he stays off the curb, stays away from those walls. He's just hitting his marks on his way home.
Well, right from the outset, we talked about what a veteran road racer this guy was. He's done a great job here today. It was expected, though. With that much experience and a good race car, Lapsevich had to win this race.
And Lapsevich out of the final corner, checkered flag flies. Jeff Lapsevich is the winner here in the Gridley Headz 100 at Edmonton. A beautiful drive and a clinic put on by the Fastline Motorsports team.
I will take a look back through the field, and here comes Mixie through for 2nd place.
Well, the battle off the final corner is for 3rd. Take a look at this. Kenny Habul is now under heat for the 17 of DJ Kennington. Kennington goes to the outside. Habul smokes the tires. He'll hold on for 3rd. But a great run for DJ Kennington, almost nipping him. Kennington will come home 4th. The win goes to the 23 of Jeff Lapsevich, and Todd's down with his wife.
Sherry, I know you're congratulating the crew, but you came a long way for this one, but this victory's got to feel good.
It's great. It's great. You know what? It seems like it's been a lot longer than it really has, but you know what? He deserved it. Like, he was a bit dejected all weekend because he wasn't the quickest car out there, but proves that it's not always the quickest car. Now, this one's for Caden. He wanted to be here, and it's for him.
Go celebrate with him.
Well, Caden is Jeff's 6-year-old son, who is a very fast little quarter midget racer.
So Jeff Lapsevich takes the big win here in the Gridley Headz 100. We'll be back to wrap things up. Well, grab a coffee. Jeff Lapsevich does the Tim Hortons Donuts here at the Gridley Headz 100 in Edmonton. 38 of CASCAR's best competed here today in front of a record crowd here at the CHAMPCAR event in Edmonton. JR had the pole. As the green flag flew, each driver took their own line and chewed and clawed their way to the front. Thompson's luck went flat early, while speedy Jason White blew up in style. Young Fitzpatrick and Jeff Lapsevich swapped the lead back and forth, with JR's ignition taking his chances away. Buck dared while taking Dowler and Steckley with him, and Hathaway couldn't catch a break. Ursul's day ended on 3 wheels, while the 5-time champ charged back into contention. Abul and Mix fought hard, but no one was going to catch Jeff Lapsevich on this day. Jeff Lapsevich has now won in almost every road course CASCAR has been to. He's standing by with Ton Lewis in the Gridley Headz winner's circle.
Jeff Lapsevich climbing out of the Tim Hortons MC a Chevrolet. And Jeff, you mentioned that you wanted to win the one at Mossport for your dad. Took a little while longer, but this is a nice victory.
It is, and I wish my dad was here. He's fortunately someone had to stay home and work, but my dad and my boys are back at home, and this is for them. The guys, Tim Hortons MCA guys, worked really hard. We made great adjustments. I think Jimmy moved up a bunch of spots too, so it's just really good to win here in Vancouver. We got a hat trick, I guess, some sorts now. And Edmonton, sorry.
Congratulations.
A little dizzy. A little dizzy indeed doing them Tim Hortons donuts.
At least he knows where he is, top of the podium in victory lane. Taking a look at the top 10, Jim Lapsevich, a good run, coming home 10th. How about Mark Dilley and Dave Whitlock? They fought all day long. Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the Mopar Dodge also coming home in 6th. Todd's down with Kerry Mix in 2nd.
Kerry Mix getting a cool drink and a cool towel off. Great effort there today.
Yeah, wow. We just keep going here. I don't know what's going to happen from race to race. We're just keeping on trucking along, and hopefully we could have sponsored one of these days. And got to thank CDS and all the smaller sponsors helped me out, Apex and CASCAR Trucking and everybody else, and especially my crew.
Nice trip west for Kerry Mix.
Thank you.
Well, that second place finish gets Kerry Mix a little bit closer to J.R. Fitzpatrick as we take a look at the Castro point standings. Mix now just 5 points back of Fitzpatrick. Scott Steckley hanging on to the top 3. There's Don Thompson Jr. in 4th. Kennington rounds out the top 5. Todd's down with a pretty decent part-timer. Kenny Abul finished 3rd.
Kenny, you said before the race you were a little worried about fuel. You had plenty of gas and you had plenty for everybody out there. Great job.
Thank you. Well, look, I guess I was lucky because the long caution period, I put it in 4th and I cruised around about 40 kilometres an hour. I put it in neutral, rolled down the straight, and I was praying that I had enough fuel for the end. But I got to thank my sponsors, Hot Wheels, New York Poker, Variety Village. I mean, they helped me get here. I got to thank my team. I'm very, very lucky. I did my absolute best with what I had. They told me, don't drive it hard. It's not an open wheeler. Save the tyres and they'll be there at the end. And I'm glad I'm starting to listen to people finally.
Enjoy it. Go celebrate up on the podium.
Well, Kenny getting congratulations from his fiancée, Kim. Kerry Martins from Gridley Headz hands out the hardware to Jeff Lapsevich for his win here in Edmonton.
So a big win for Jeff Lapsevich here today. The Gridley Headz 100 from Edmonton is brought to you by Castrol GTX, maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. By CarQuest Auto Parts, proudly serving a world in motion. Westworld Computers, the Macintosh experts. And by Home Hardware, help is close to home.
And here we are on the podium for the spraying of the champagne. The boys are going to drink a little, spray a little. Ah, the sweet taste of success.
On behalf of our entire production crew at James Robinson Associates Limited, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time from Trois-Rivières, Quebec for the Arctic Cat 100.